So the first movement I'm going to do this week is Impressionism. Impressionism took place in the 1870s, and the main focus was contemporary life and what was happening at the time. They used mostly oil on canvas, and the colors are very calm and soothing, kind of a settling period of art. They painted what they actually saw instead of what is generally seen with the word. So, for example, if you say river, everyone can think of the colors of blue and the green around the edges and, rocks and stuff. But they painted what they actually saw, what was actually going on. And the book says, this is no simple goal. We usually generalize exactly what we see. So, it kind of highlights that this is kind of cool. Like, this is not normal for art, I guess. Like, usually it is generalized. The colors and brushstrokes of Impressionism are very light and kind of blotchy, symbolizing the fast pace of the time and the movement and the building and all the different things going on. But at the same time, it was a peaceful time. In the painting Arrival of the Normandy Train, we see smoke and clouds. It actually looks like they're moving, and the way they're blotched onto the canvas and the colors that are being used, it looks like the clouds are actually moving. And then we see the bustling of people around, and it kind of gives you a feeling of, newness and hecticness, but in a calm setting. Impressionists' main focus was the beauty of the world and nature's and human progress. This was a time of economic and social and technological growth, so it really makes sense that it was peaceful, and it was peaceful, but at the same time it was very kind of chaotic, and you can see the movement within the works. So that was the first movement I'm doing, and then I'm going to jump to Surrealism in the 1920s is my second movement. Surrealism is super cool to me. I like the kind of abstract stuff. The main focus was that they are very abstract, and the paintings seem to make no sense. Artists at this time didn't like the big science movements and all these scientific findings and movements, and a lot of stuff was based on science at that time, and they didn't like this. They thought that the unconscious mind and the creative mind was more important, and it was being lost in translation because of all the scientific movements. So for example, at this time, Freud came along with his id, ego, and superego theory, talking about the conscious and unconscious mind, and that was the history that was going on at this time. Salvador Dali, he painted what he saw in his nightmares. He was a surrealist. Other artists focused more on color and design rather than a purpose or a story to be told. So in other words, they focused more on what cool colors and what cool designs could they see in their mind more than what story can I tell with my painting. In Salvador Dali's painting, The Persistence of Memory, you see everything is kind of warped. There's a clock, and it's kind of warped, and it's just bending over a table. And it kind of is cool to think about how this was what he was seeing in his nightmare. And the book describes it as a hallucinatory sense of super reality beyond the everyday world. So, when you think about how all the scientific stuff was going on at this time, and these surrealists were going against that and trying to get people to tap into their creative mind, it's really cool to think about, and it's really like a kind of a rebellious movement. So those are the two I'm doing this week, and I think my favorite was Surrealism. I just love the abstract stuff and stuff that doesn't really make sense. And that's it for this week.